Okay guys, some of you out there want to know just how big that chopper is. So I have set up a ruler on the floor. Now let's walk over and we'll see what it is. And this is in inches, by the way. As you see, here's the back of the tire. There's the front of the tire of the chopper. So that's just under 9 feet. It's probably, I think the specifications are 108 inches. So I could probably move the ruler back to be lined up with the rear tire. It's probably 108 inches, which is 9 feet. Now we're going to do a length comparison with the Honda. Okay. Honda, let's see, let's pull that ruler back just a little bit more. The rear tire is probably about 79 inches. It's actually about 6.5 feet, 6 feet 7 inches. So the big dog is almost 3 feet longer than the Honda 250. Now we'll do a seat height. Let's say it's about roughly 23 inches, guys. All right, let's get the ruler over here. It's about the same, about 23 inches. Okay, now we're going to do the handlebars. You know, a lot of people ask me, they say, why don't you edit your videos? Well, I like doing my videos raw. I like doing them almost, you know, like as they happen. That's my taste. I just like doing things as they happen. Okay, the highest point, it's about 47.5, and the highest point on here, it's about 40. Let's say about 41. Yeah, it's about 41 inches. So let me give you guys a driver's view too of both bikes. Okay, this is basically my view when I'm on the Honda. Alright, I have to leave it like that. So, you know, when I'm on the Honda, this is just about what I see. My line of sight is just about, probably, to be honest, it's probably about right there. Now, the one thing about the Honda Rebel, if this breaks down, you can push it. This is almost like pushing a bicycle, because it's 280, maybe 289 pounds. That's about it. And this is very, very maneuverable. You could literally turn this motorcycle around in a 15-foot circle, maybe even a 10-foot circle. Okay, now let's go over to the big dog. Now this is the view. My jaw is actually probably lined up with the top of my speedometer. Okay? That's what you see when you're on the big dog. This is about, and I'm a tall person, If you're a short person, you're going to be about right there. Here's my mirrors. You can see the reflection of me holding my tablet. The top of the gas tank is actually the same level as my chest. Where on the Honda Rebel, the top of the gas tank is probably the same level as my belly button. The Honda Rebel, the whole motorcycle weighs about 285 pounds. The stock Honda Rebel, the 2001, weighs about 300 pounds. Since I modified that, it's a little bit lighter. Hold on, let me get off of this. Yeah, the Honda Rebel, since I modified it, it's about probably about 285 pounds. Because I did stuff like, I took the shocks off. Those struts, the rear struts are aluminum. They're lighter. The fender, I handmade the fender. The fender's lighter. The seat's lighter. I modified the engine. That top of the engine is actually lighter than the stock engine. The air cleaner box I took off. And the battery box, that took some weight off it. The handlebars, I also took weight off it. The halogen headlight, that's a modern headlight, that's a little lighter. And so it's probably, oh yeah, and the exhaust pipes are shorter. So, and then all the engraving, all the aluminum I took off the engine for ball cutting it and engraving it, probably took off maybe 1 or 2 ounces. So it's probably about 280, maybe 285 pounds, which makes it a very maneuverable motorcycle. If that breaks down, you could literally push that home. Now over to the big dog. This motorcycle here weighs, I think it weighs 650 pounds. If this breaks down, you cannot push this home. It is not a maneuverable motorcycle. This is a serious motorcycle. If you don't have experience riding a motorcycle, don't touch this. Don't get on it. Don't even get on it. Don't even sit on it. The turning radius in this is horrible. I think it's like 30 feet. I may not be able to even turn this around in a 30-foot circle. I will tell you one thing. This is my very first fat tire motorcycle, rear fat tire. If you feel like sometimes there's these ripples in the road, and that'll actually play havoc with the motorcycle, because since there's more of a contact area, it'll be harder to control. It's also harder to go around turns. That's why sometimes on sports bikes, these guys put fat tire motorcycles on the backs of their Hayabusas. Sure, they look cool, but come time you try to make a turn, you're in trouble. They cannot turn like the stock Hayabusas. This is basically a cruising motorcycle meant to go slow and just look cool and just turn heads, and that's just what it does. I was in a hardware store lot the other day when a lady was getting in her car. She said, "Boy, that is a nice bike." I was getting gas somewhere else. A woman said to me, "That's a run sweet bike you got there." That's why I bought it. I bought it just to show people. This way everyone else can enjoy it. But that's what this is. This is actually more comfortable than the Honda Rebel, because you can sit back on this. The foot pegs are higher and they're longer out there for me, so I can actually put my legs on this easier than the Honda. The Honda Rebel's made for a short person, where this is actually made for anybody as long as you have experience riding a motorcycle. It's not made for a tall person. Yeah, I'm 6'4". I'm a pretty strong dude. It's actually easy for me to control this. It does help, but it's not necessary. Height and strength is not necessary, but it helps. Where my height with a Honda Rebel over here is actually a handicap. I can't sell the Honda Rebel, guys. Nobody wants it. A guy called me. Well, a guy emailed me last night. He wanted to give me $800 for it. I was going to take the $800, but I changed my mind. Yeah, you know, because I have this listed right now for $1650, which is a steal in itself. You know, because for $1650, I'm giving this away. I'm giving those two shocks over there, the 87 head and the rocker arm covers, the owner's manual somewhere around here, you know, and I think there's a couple other parts. You know, so I was going to take $800 for it, and then, you know, I changed my mind. I said to my wife, you know what, we're going to just pay a bill off. We won't have the money anymore, and we won't have the motorcycle. And I just shelled out $160 to get the title transferred on this. So I probably have about $1,500 in this. So what's the sense of selling it? It is a fun little motorcycle. You can zip around, and, you know, you can make a lot of nice maneuvers with this. It needs more power. That's the only problem with it. I don't know how you can get more power out of these things. If you change the rear sprocket, if you put in like a 34 or 36 rear tooth, it's going to rev more in fifth gear. I mean, the RPMs are already high now in fifth gear. They're probably, if I had a tack on that, they're probably close to about 12,000. You know, yeah, it's quicker at lower speeds, but then it'd be harder to go up to 50 miles an hour. So, but yeah, these are city motorcycles. They're not highway motorcycles. So, all right, guys. I'll catch y'all a little later on. And, oh, let me show you the, let me get the seat pan for this. I'll show you how the seat pan's coming. We still got, this is actually, that's actually double layer fiberglass cloth. As you see, I want to line this up with the side of the frame a little bit better. So we're going to cut this. We already cut it. So let me see, we probably got to cut about a 1/2 inch more up here, and then it'll feather down to nothing. Same on this side, we'll cut a 1/2 inch up here and stop to about here, feather to nothing. We'll trim that off there. I did heat this up and I bended it back, and I also reinforced it in here with more fiberglass cloth. And I also reinforced it in here with fiberglass cloth. I covered the hole and the old mounting holes, and I also went over the whole unit with more fiberglass resin. So it's actually resting on the frame right now. The suction cup holes will be back. This is where the suction cups will go. And then there's like a little metal, these are like the, I guess you can call them fingers. They go underneath the frame in here. See, they go underneath there. Then underneath this will be felt. And probably what I'll do is I'll probably double up the felt. We'll double up the felt underneath here. Now, in order for me to put leather on top of that, even though I'm going to have closed cell foam on top of this, this all has to be filled in. This has to be, it can't be, you can't have these valleys in here like this. This has to be all filled in. So what we're going to have to probably do is get some Tiger here. Here, let's lift that up a second. Okay, you can see in there, that's where the Tiger hair will have to go, and probably a little bit in there. And then you want to give it basically just like a small arc. You know, and then the closed cell foam is going to be about 1 inch. It'll be about 1 inch thick. Then your leather will go on the face, and then we're going to have a strip of leather going around the side. Then the piece of leather that's going to go underneath here has to be riveted. Has to be riveted. We'll probably have to make a couple more holes, but we'll try to use the same holes. If not, I can always make different holes. It really doesn't matter. So the bottom has to be riveted, and then it's going to be laced on the sides and in the front and in the back. Then we'll tool the entire piece, and it'll take a while, guys.